What's up, you guys? Welcome back to this week's One Piece chapter review. And I know it's been a month or two since I've last did a One Piece chapter review, and that takes away a lot of weight, from my opinion, on the recent chapters. But I just got done reading One Piece chapter 919, and I'm all caught up. And honestly, I feel that Wano has been very underwhelming. I feel that it doesn't live up to the hype that I had for it and a lot of other people had for it. Wano, in my opinion, was hyped up to be this amazing, no-nonsense, action-packed arc. We have Kaido. We have this Lord Orochi. We have his Smile Army. We have Jack the Drought and these other calamities or disasters. And Wano was hyped up to have all these powerful and fearsome swordsmen. Wano was hyped up to be this isolationist country that doesn't interact with any outsiders and basically have its own flow going on. And don't get me wrong, Wano is definitely interesting from a culture standpoint and a political standpoint, but I feel like the events that have been going on in Wano are very underwhelming. And to me, the only real highlights of Wano arc so far is Vassal Hawkins, and basically just seeing his Devil Fruit in action. And I just love Vassal Hawkins. I didn't really need to see his Devil Fruit in action in Wano arc to know that this guy's a badass. Ever since I saw him with the other supernovas, I knew Vassal Hawkins was going to be a heavy hitter in the future. Plot-wise for this chapter, I really didn't like the turn that the plot took with Kinemon and Momosuke and the others basically being from the past. I think 2 or 3 decades from the past or whatever. I feel that when you incorporate time travel and things like that into a series, you open up the potential to not only weaken the plot but destabilize it with all these other possible pathways in a series that the plot could take. And I feel that time travel in a lot of ways can cheapen some of the events in a series and a lot of future events in One Piece. Because, I mean, basically, next thing you're going to tell me is that Vegapunk came from the future. That he isn't basically somebody that's years ahead of his time. He came from the future to the past to create all this technology to basically avoid the future from turning out. However, that's just basically one example. Another thing that I want to talk about with Wano arc is how interesting Otama's Devil Fruit ability is. In my opinion, it is the inverse of the non-canon character Peto's Devil Fruit ability. And if you don't know who Peto is, he has this Devil Fruit ability where he can create these slave collars. And once he gets it on a person or a creature, they have to follow his orders, whether it's against their will or not. And so basically he turns anybody, humans or animals or creatures, whatever, into slaves as soon as he gets his collar on them. And in one non-canon episode or filler episode, I believe, he had got Luffy and Law to fight each other by putting collars on both of their necks. And in many ways, Otama's Devil Fruit ability or Otama's power is the inverse of Peto's ability. Whereas Peto uses a chain to subordinate a person or a creature, Otama only has to basically pull out a dango from her cheek and feed it to a creature. And whereas his Devil Fruit ability works on humans and creatures, Otama's Devil Fruit ability only works on creatures so far. And we've seen half human, half animal Smile Fruit users or eaters. And whereas Peto's Devil Fruit ability basically forces someone to follow his orders against their own will, Otama's power basically makes these creatures and these half-human, half-animal smile eaters friendly towards her and want to follow her of their own will and their own accord. So you have one that's basically slavery and you have one that's basically building friendship in a sense. Do I like Otama? I don't know. I like the fact that she knew Ace, and I like the fact that she considers Luffy her brother in a sense, and that's something I really like, and I think that's cute. I think it's really cute as compared to these other relationships or friendships that Luffy's built up, you know, with Rebecca and all these other people and all these other marks. Another person I'd like to see going forward in Wano arc is Orochi. he supposedly had this amazing sword style. He supposedly beat everyone else, the previous rulers, and, you know, supplanted himself up there. And he's allied himself under Kaido. And I want to see how strong he is. I mean, allying yourself under Kaido, I'm not going to have the expectation that he's too strong. But I think it would be interesting to see Zoro fight Lord Orochi. Or Zoro to fight this other guy that we see talking about Lord Orochi and trash talking him and saying, oh, Lord Orochi is a coward and this and that. He believes in this superstition and that they're ghosts. I was like, well, if they're from the past, then they are kind of ghosts, I suppose. But my opinion for this chapter, I just think time travel and this whole we're from the past or we're from the future gimmick is a very cheap turn to take for a plot in a series. Lord Orochi is basically seeming more and more interesting as the chapters go on. I'd like to see more of these smile users, and I think some of their abilities, some of how the smile works so far is very interesting, but it seems like a really cheap gimmick compared to Zoan Devil Fruit. Basically, you don't get the full perks of a Zoan Devil Fruit. You only get pretty much a ripped off counterfeit version. You get an animal body part here, an animal body part there, and you can't really untransform it in some cases. You're permanently stuck like that. Like Hold'em. He has a lion basically on his stomach. A lion with its arms and everything, and he can't get rid of it. He's stuck with it, and this lion keeps punching him in the crotch. So I just don't think it's I just don't think these Smile Devil Fruits are really all they're cracked up to be. When we were told of this Zoan Devil Fruit army or this Smile Devil Fruit army, it was hyped up to be this really powerful thing. But now that we're seeing it in work, it's not really all that. It's really just a cheap gimmick and more of an intimidation factor to see this entire army of people with chimera-like physical traits and characteristics. But really, they're all fodder. They're all fodder unless it's an actual Zoan Devil Fruit user like Jack the Drought. And I would like to see more Zoan Devil Fruit users in Kaido's crew as opposed to Smile Devil Fruit users. Or if we can see a strong Smile Devil Fruit user, that would be interesting. My big question is Kaido a Zoan Devil Fruit user, or is he a Smile Devil Fruit user? And I'm hoping that he is. It would be interesting to see what Zoan Devil Fruit he would have, but it would also be very interesting to see if he was a Smile Devil Fruit user. And, you know, Kaido of the 100 Beasts is basically, you know, him eating one of the other prototype smiles. And this smile was incorporated with all these different animals and all these different genetic makeups and everything like that. And so basically Kaido has like all these different animals all over his body. We just can't see it. Or he can transform into this weird, gigantic chimera monstrous form. But this is VM. I went off on a tangent. What did you guys think of Chapter 919? What do you guys think of Wano Arc? Is it living up to the hype? Is it not living up to the hype? What are some characters you dislike? What are some characters you like? I don't really like Okiku. I really don't, to some extent. I don't like her personality. I don't like how she goes from timid to badass. Or timid to serious. Some cases, she says these epic one-liners and she does these epic things. And another one, she's just this clueless freaking idiot that doesn't know what to do. And I'm just like, pick a side. Either you're this damsel in distress and you need to be told what to do, or you need to be helped along the way, or you are this capable swordswoman and you can handle yourself in a lot of scenarios. But you can't just simply fluctuate back and forth. It's giving me whiplash. I don't know whether I respect you or whether I just simply hate the fact that you're this timid, shy woman half the time. This is VM. What's your favorite characters? What's your least favorite characters? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.